Question 1. What is the most significant lesson from the period of historical globalization that you think all people should know? I think the most significant lesson from the period of historical globalization that everyone should know about is the Industrial Revolution. The Industrial Revolution was a great evolution that increased the production of goods through the development of machines and use of new energy sources. Before the Industrial Revolution, the manufacturing of goods was done by hand or basic machines. Because of the Industrial Revolution, there was a mass shift in factories and production worldwide. While the Industrial Revolution brought better ways of lifestyle for some, it resulted in harsh employment and working environments for the lower and middle class. Britain was the birthplace of the Industrial Revolution because it had lots of access to coal and iron. Coal and iron were used to power steam engines, which were used to generate machines which were crucial in the Industrial Revolution. Britain also had a politically stable society, and during the time, they were the most richest and powerful nation of the world. Question 2. What do you think is the most important lesson about economic globalization we should pass on to others? The Industrial Revolution is important because it changed the old world to the new world, and it brought advances in various elements like technology, media, shipping, science, communication, transportation, construction, and agriculture. The shift from handmade to machine-made products created more production, which resulted in more trade, which helped boost the British economy. The Industrial Revolution also led to the rise of banks and industrial financiers, as well as factory systems which depended on owners and managers. It funded new stock exchanges and established modern economics. Question 3. What did you learn about yourself as you studied globalization? As I studied globalization, I learned about a concept called outsourcing. Outsourcing is a practice used by different companies as a method of cheap labor by transferring portions of work to international contractors instead of hiring someone from inside the country for the job. People from certain parts of the world have a higher level of education than we do, so they may be able to get the work done faster and more efficiently. But ultimately, businesses do outsourcing because it is cheaper. Outsourcing affects me personally because it puts more pressure on me to have a higher level of education and get a good degree so I can maintain a higher skilled job. Because of the rapid growth of technology, if I were to work in a factory when I'm older, I would always have the fear of being replaced with a machine or outsourced because it is cheaper for a company to run a machine than to pay a worker. Question 4. Why do you think critical thinking and historical thinking are important in our world today? Historical thinking is important in order to gain a deeper understanding of historical events and processes. Critical historical thinkers are better at debating and interrogating historical sources, and they can determine the uses and abuses in world history. They ask questions that are out of the box and try to figure out things that we don't already know to see the bigger picture. It is necessary for us to have historical and critical thinkers in our world so we understand the full story and not just see it from one perspective, and so we don't make the same past mistakes in our future. Question 5. From what you've learned, what advice would you give yourself to strengthen your learning in your next social studies course? From everything I've learned this year, I would advise myself for the future to think more critically and ask questions that normally wouldn't be asked. For most of the topics we studied this year, we got to see perspectives from both sides and the good and bad of situations. This course for me has strengthened the importance of looking at history from different angles and seeing the opposing perspectives on issues. Ultimately, it has reminded me that in most parts of history, it can be debated what really happened, which to even this day, people continue to debate on what really happened in our history regarding certain issues. And because of this, not all history we learn is completely accurate.